Hello and welcome to this video on hidden gem golf courses. If you're looking for some golfing inspiration this year, then this video is definitely for you. You're going to hear from Rob Smith and Jeremy Ellwood, who run our top 100 courses panel, and Mike Harris, the editor of Golf Monthly as well. And I've asked them all to take a look at our top 100 courses in the UK and Ireland and pick two courses that don't feature maybe at the top end of that top 100, but that are well worth the visit that you may not have already heard about before. We're here at the beautiful Worplesdon Golf Club. Let's get started. Right, so let's focus on some hidden gems. I think it's fair to say that when we talk about our top 100 courses, there aren't that many hidden gems amongst them because a lot of them are very well known. So the challenge that I set these three was to take out the top 25. So you're not allowed to pick anything that's in the top 25, but I do want you to highlight some courses that people watching this video may not have already considered if they're thinking about playing somewhere that's a real wow golf course. So, Jezz, I'm going to start with you. What's your, two each, what's your first nomination as a hidden gem?
Okay, well I'm going to go with Dune Bug, which is in County Clare, west coast of Ireland, now called Trump International Golf Links, I believe, Ireland. I played it just after it opened in 2003, I think. And I'd played quite a few classic old links by then, but never anything quite like this in amongst the towering dunes. And to be honest, it just blew me away. It was just a fantastic golfing experience from start to finish, real wow factor. And that sort of sparked my enthusiasm for modern links with the towering dunes like Trump Aberdeen and Rossapenna Sandy Hills. And some purists probably balk at the idea of a modern links, whereas I actually really embrace them and enjoy them as much as, possibly if not more so, than some of the older links.
Yeah, I would throw Castle Stewart into the mix on that front because I think that's a fantastic golf course. Now, Jez, what number is it on the list?
It's 47th, so just inside the top 50.
And if those people who are maybe putting a trip together and they want to play somewhere else, where else could they play in the area?
Well, the obvious one is Lahinch, which is higher in the rankings, much older, traditional old links. But actually, when they built Lahinch, they looked at the plot of land where Dune Bug was subsequently built and decided to build it elsewhere. But it was earmarked for a potential golf course sort of 100 years before it became a golf course.
Okay, so that's Dune Bug or Trump International Golf Links, Ireland. Yes. Mike, over to you.
So my first one is Wallace. It's a new entry in the list, this time at number 89. It has been on the verge of getting in for a while, I would say, but the level of work that's been going on at Wallace in the last few years under the stewardship of John McLaughlin, who's the course manager there, really I think it's fully deserving of its place. And interesting, I first played it, I think, on my stag weekend, so talking about 20 odd years ago, and I've been back and played it a number of times subsequently. I always felt like it's a really great golf course. There's some very spectacular holes overlooking the sea. But they've done a lot of work and they've brought, I guess, the standard of some of the weaker holes up. And it's a great experience, lovely, really friendly club. It probably sits in the shadow of Royal Liverpool, which is literally just up the road.
Okay, so Rob, over to you then. What's your first nomination?
Well, like the other two, I've gone for a links, but sort of midway between the two. So not a totally modern, but also not traditional. I've gone for Enniscorthy in Ireland, which is kind of midway-ish between County Sligo and Cairn. And it was built in the mid-70s. Eddie Hackett was the designer. You start off on the most ridiculously open bit of land. You think, well, what's going on here? And then you turn immediately into the dunes. You then come out of them and you play down some holes down by the river. And then you go back for an, cliche alert, roller coaster ride for a few holes with some cracking par fives and some dog legs where you hit down into little valleys and then you go around the corner up to greens on shelves. It's just enormous fun from start to finish, and it really is a lovely, lovely golf course.
I think it's quite an important point to make here about the courses on the top 100, that you want there to be an element of fun, don't you? And there'll be some courses perhaps that people think, is that really a top 100 course? But as you just said there, when you describe it, I can see how animated you are with it, Rob, and you're like, well, it's such good fun to play.
Yeah, absolutely. I think fun is an important factor. We don't really figure it into the rankings or in terms of the criteria, the formal criteria, but you have to bear in mind everyone is looking at these courses, and as they think about the categories that we do have, you can't actually divorce that from fun, because you can't think it's a great strategic test if you're not enjoying it. So, fun has to be a part of it.
I think hidden gems is an interesting term because, if you're in that area, you'll know all about that course.
Yes.
But venture further afield, and apart from the very top courses, you'd be surprised how few golfers have really heard of some of these very fine courses that sit, 50 to 100 or whatever. Some of them are quite anonymous outside their home areas.
Particularly, I think when they're off the beaten track, as a lot of the courses, I must say that's probably my blind spot in top 100 is some of those sort of further flung Irish courses. I've never been to Enniscorthy. I would love to go, particularly having seen some of the photography of it. Obviously, hear your description of it.
Yeah, and it's a good point actually. Wherever you are in the world, there will be a hidden gem golf course somewhere near you that we probably haven't even heard of, and we'd love to hear your description of it. So please do leave some comments below. Jezz, back to you. Your second course.
Well, let's go for my home county, West Sussex. This is the only top 100 course in my home county, and it's called West Sussex. Okay. There is another course in East Sussex Rye, which is in the top 100, but West Sussex is just a beautiful heathland golf course. You arrive and it's got this old school clubhouse, a big practice ground, and then the first is the only par 5 on the course. So there's always this kind of, right, I've got to make the most of this because there's nothing, and invariably you don't, of course. And then the 4th and 5th are probably two of the prettiest back-to-back holes I've ever played. There's a dogleg round to the left. Not long, but testing enough. And then a most beautiful par 3 in amongst the trees. And you need to make the most of those because the hole after that is a quite ludicrous par 3 down the hill, 230, 240 yards to a green with banks either side and over water.
So Mike, you went for Wallace first in gem. What's your second?
So my second one is Parkstone, which is down in Dorset near Bournemouth, part of 3 courses that are down there, Ferndown, Broadstone and Parkstone. Probably could have picked any of them really. Parkstone, what I really like about it is there's lots of variety there, some really spectacular holes, some nice changes in elevation, feels like it's not overly long, there's some really good sporty holes there. Always thought it's been in fantastic condition when I've been there. Love the clubhouse as well, which got an amazing view over the 18th, which is a par 3 to finish with. So yeah, Parkstone, I think, which we have ranked at 81, if I remember correctly, is would be my second choice for a hidden gem.
Bonus prize is one of 5 in the top 100 that finish with a par 3.
Oh.
If you can name the other 4, leave a comment below.
I was going to start trying, but that wouldn't have made much viewing. Okay, very good. So, Rob, what's your last one?
Well, my second is, my first one was less well known because it's kind of in the middle of nowhere. My other is not so well known because it's surrounded by bigger names, which is a kind of a feature here, which we've mentioned really. I'm going for Western Gales, which is number 46 in the new rankings. This is an old school links, but delightful. You play 4 holes inland, heading north. Then you reach the coast, and you just run for 9 holes all the way down the beach, with some sunken greens, some sort of punch bowl greens. It's just a delight if the wind is behaving in the right way too. And then, of course, you turn for a potentially really tough 14 to 18 back up towards the lovely clubhouse. I think it's got tons of charm. It's less well known because of Turnberry, Prestwick and Troon, which are so close, but it really is well worth visiting for anybody who doesn't yet know it.
Yeah, there's a few areas within our top 100 where you can put together a brilliant trip. You could go up to the East Lothian coast, or you could go to one of the spots in Ireland to put together. This is another one. As you just listed off however many top 100 courses. There's a few others actually in that area too.
Well, Dundonald Links has gone in that. So,
and we actually did that. The 3 of us did that as a trip a few years ago. We played 72 holes in 2 days, didn't we? A 2-day trip. We went up and played Dundonald and Western Gales on one day, and then Troon and Prestwick on the next day. Really quite tired by the time we flew back.
Ayrshire is the 3rd most succcessmal county, joint 3rd most successful county in our top 100, behind Surrey, which excels, and then Merseyside, which if you break it down is bits of Lancashire and Cheshire and what have you, but that's the 2nd most successful, and then it's Ayrshire and I think Aberdeenshire on 4.
Wow, good knowledge.
Yeah. I've just written about it. So.
Very good. Very good. So there you have it. Hopefully that offers you some inspiration for if you're putting a golf trip together, or just generally if you live in one of these areas and maybe haven't played one of these golf courses, then they are well worth going out to see for yourself, because I think all of us, anyone who's in love with golf, loves the chance of playing great golf courses, and these are fantastic golf courses that are well worth a mention. So that's it for now. Thank you very much for watching, but for now, from Warbleston, it's goodbye.